Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. If I look a little sodden, and I apologies for anybody who's just listening to this, my hair does look a bit out of place and wet and windswept. It's because I have literally just walked 2 miles in the rain and the wet and everything, coming from that annual festive thing that you have to do, which is go to see the school nativity play. Yeah, which is a most marvelous thing, where children remember their lines beautifully and then shout, not sing. And I don't know why music teachers. I don't know why this doesn't happen, but music teachers, why don't you tell them to sing? You tell them to shout. I think you just tell them to go loud, right? We'll be talking about voice control with our guest today, Sydney Elliott, otherwise known as Frank. We will be back to talk to Sydney straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Sydney, thank you for coming and talking to me just before Christmas. It's a pleasure having you here. Do you remember shouting at school?
I do remember being told to stop talking as much. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you were one of those, were you?
Yes, I was a little chatty. So
Oh,
a
right.
little, maybe too little chatty for my teachers, but
Okay. Why was that? You were inquisitive?
I think I was maybe more bored of
Okay, you were bored at school. Yeah.
I was an okay student, but I wanted to talk to my friends that were around me. That
You
felt
were
like
so-
more of an immediate
Okay.
thing.
You always been a very social person?
When I was really young, I was pretty shy, and then I think as I got older and got friends and kind of got more comfortable and confident, I got a bit more outgoing. But when I was really young, I mean, I
Yeah.
was pretty reserved. I didn't like attention on me. I definitely did not want to sing in front of people. That took a
Okay.
long time.
Really?
Very long time.
It's interesting.
Mhm.
I always wanted to sing in front of people. I don't know that they necessarily wanted me to sing in front of them, but I always enjoyed that. I, on the other hand, was very, very quiet at school.
Mm.
And that shocked people, especially in my sort of teenage years when I first joined a band and whatever. They were shocked because it was like, he sings. He'll get up and like act in front of people and wear like face makeup and all that sort of weird stuff. And yet at school, he won't say boo to a goose.
Wow.
Yeah. It's weird how it affects people in different ways, isn't it?
It is. It's interesting how there are a lot of other musicians and performers that I've heard were like very shy and did not like attention. And I always wondered where was the shift and what was the reason for the change,
Yeah. Who, when you were growing up and you started listening to music and getting your identity through music, etc., who was it that you admired in terms of their confidence? Not necessarily in terms of their skill, but in terms of their confidence.
Oh, that's a very good question. I think my earliest memory of really falling in love with like music and an artist particularly was when I was about 14, 15. I really fell in love with swing music, and that led me into
Wow.
jazz music, which led
Yeah.
me to my favorite artist, Ella Fitzgerald. And she always had this poise about her and this grace, but this confidence. And she was, elegant. And she was one of those artists that I immediately just really took to. And from her voice to her performing to her charm, everything about her just seemed like I want to be that. If I could, take on the essence of any artist, Ella was somebody who was just very inspiring to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What a great voice.
Really.
What's your favorite Ella?
Favorite Ella song? That's so hard. My favorite I have a few of her albums, but one of my favorite albums is her and Louis Armstrong's album that they
Oh,
did
now
together.
that's what I was gonna say.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so good. That album. I mean, I also love Louis Armstrong,
I
but
think there's 2 or 3 albums with her and Louis.
Mhm.
They're sublime.
Oh, they're
Absolutely sublime.
amazing. They're amazing. They Can't Take That Away From Me is always a song that I
Can't
really
take that
love.
away.
That's a good impression. I've got a friend Rebecca who does a great Louis Armstrong impression.
Really?
It's amusing. I'll say that. But that song, oh, it's so amazing. And even her solo stuff's incredible, and that's always a tough.
It's quite an odd combination in a way.
Mhm.
I mean, he plays trumpet very sweetly.
Mhm.
So her voice next to the trumpet is that bit makes sense. But it's almost like when he sings on those albums, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's almost like either like someone like, it's a bit like when Nick Cave did the duet with Kylie Minogue. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of that kind of,
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, and he had such a unique voice.
Mm.
I mean, when you hear it, you know exactly who's singing. Whenever you hear Louis Armstrong,
Yeah.
kind of similar to Ella, but I don't know, when they came together, it fit somehow.
Yeah. But I tell you what, those albums are a really good example of as well, an exploration of as well, is 2 artists who have got incredibly strong voices and incredibly strong personalities as well, making space for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you learned that over your tender years? I mean, the importance of space, and who taught that to you?
Importance of space. I think it's one of those things that the more I wrote and the more I kind of found the feeling that I wanted to convey, whether it was a song or a project or whatever I was doing, I find that the less I think about things, because it's very easy to overthink and get tied up in the details of things, especially when you're writing, just to whatever came naturally at first always kind of had this space in it, and held this, like, as it came out, I was like, okay, this is just what it wants to be. Me and my team and my manager always talk about, like, what does the song want? What does it need? Like, at that point, you want to serve the song the best you can in whatever way that kind of plays out. But yeah, I would say it's one of those things that maybe within the last few years, I feel like I've been able to kind of settle in a little bit more with it.
Takes time, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Always learning. Always learning more.
Really takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the mistakes I think I see with like really young artists is and possibly not quite as much these days, because I feel like young artists these days are very good with their kind of history of music, which perhaps we weren't necessarily in back in the day. But there is this thing when people first start out where they just feel the need to like fill the sound with everything.
Yeah, it's almost like the more the better.
Yeah. And then someone comes along and goes, why?
Mm-hmm.
You've lost the song in that. And I think it takes a while for people, singer-songwriters in particular, to kind of really grasp that do you know what? I don't need to overcook that.
Yes. And I think, especially when I started dabbling in production, that helped me a lot, because again, me and my manager, when we sit and we write, usually people assume that producing is adding in all these different tracks and layers and this and that. And we'll start off with so many, but as we go through the song, it's like, okay, well, what can we take away? Like, what does the song not need right now? What's just taking up space just to take up space? And I wouldn't say that I'm at the level I want to be with production wise, because there's so much to learn and it takes time. But even just building tracks and a sound, I'm like, a lot of songs don't need as much in them. It's like whatever you can reduce and how you can simplify it, the song is going to still be great, whether you add more or take away. But usually if you can find a way to, hey, we've got, this melody and this basic track here, and it does everything it needs to do for the song. So what's the point of adding on this other part or, this little section? And again, each song is different, but sometimes less is more, especially with production.
And you're great with your visuals as well for your songs.
Thank you.
Really, really good with that. Do you find yourself now starting to almost create the visual in your head as you're producing the song as well? Do you feel like you kind of get an idea that actually in this space I've created here in this song, that's where the visual could be really stimulating? Because actually that these days putting the two together and kind of marrying the two together is really important.
It is. And I think I do a lot of times when I'm writing a song or have a concept, I really like to think of, okay, if I were to perform this song on stage, what is it going to sound like? How would I perform it? And then that always leads into, well, what's the visual going to be? How's the visual going to tie into the feeling of the song? And like, there's even, a song I'm working on now that I'm very excited to release top of next year that, we kind of started talking about the visual, and it's one of those things that I think when I even wrote the song, we talked about, oh, this visual would fit perfect with this. And so as you write the song, sometimes you take the visual into consideration, and then sometimes I write it and then it's like, oh, I know exactly what the visual needs to be for this. So sometimes it's already there as I'm writing. Sometimes I write the song and then I'm like, okay, this feels like the right way to kind of show what the song is trying to convey, whether it's just the cover or music video or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah. Now, this is going to sound like an odd question.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But that's because I'm odd. So, you expect the unexpected.
Yes.
But you used to have longer hair, right? Now, when I was younger and I was 21 and I was in a signed band, etc., I had quite long hair, right? And then I got to a point, I left that band and then I was in another thing, and I stepped back from the mic a little bit because I was like playing, and I cut my hair, and you've gone quite short. Is there anything to do with a difference in confidence and cutting your hair?
Oh, I love that question. I actually cut my hair this short when I was 15 for the first time because my sister was a hairstylist. So I was like her guinea pig, when she was in school. She would color my hair, do all these different fun cuts. And it was like shoulder length. And then we did an asymmetrical. She went to the pixie cut. And after that, I remember feeling very confident with the hairstyle, even when I was young. And when I was 15, I don't feel like short hair like this, at least at the school that I went to, was like common. Everyone was like, oh, what a change of look. And
yeah.
But it was one of those things that as soon as I cut it shorter, it felt like, okay, this is the hairstyle I'm supposed to have. It just felt right. And even though I loved my curls and, I liked having longer hair, it felt right. I even had my aunt tell me, she was like, you just seem like you really are kind of coming into your own with this look. And then after I got married, I decided, hey, let me grow it out. I've had this hairstyle for 10 years. Let me see what it's like having long hair. Grew it out, maybe like 2-3 years, got shoulder length. I was like, cool, it's fun having hair. But to be honest, I don't like doing it. I don't like the maintenance. I love doing my makeup, but I mean, curls are they're a lot to maintain.
Oh, I know. My daughter's got long hair. It's a nightmare.
It is. And the thing is, it's like it's classic saying, you always want what you don't have. I cut my hair short and I look at my hair, like I look at the video stuck in Reno and I'm like, man, the blonde hair looks so cute. But then I stop for a second and I'm like, but I had to do it. And I had to, take time. And I think that when I felt so comfortable with the short hair, it was just a very easy decision. Like even when I decided to cut it back off again, I was like, yeah, I'll no problem. Because I cut it when I dropped the EP, because I always had these visuals of like Edie Sedgwick as inspiration with like the makeup look and the hair and the style. And we were talking, and my manager was like, "Are you going to cut your hair?" And I was like, "I can." And he was like, "Well, no, I'm not trying to, tell you what to do." And I was like, You're not at all. I want to cut my hair. I'm just looking for an opportunity to go back to the hairstyle that I love. And that's
right. So
simple.
your manager knew, and he was like up for this, right?
Yeah, well, because when I sent him this inspo pic of Edie Sedgwick, he was like, "Are you wanting to cut your hair short again?" And I was like, "I can." And he's like, "Oh, well, I was just asking." And I was like, "No, I'll do it. Let's do it. Like, this is the time."
You know what he was thinking there? He was just thinking, I'm going to get her back on track again, right? This is like half an hour every day that I'm going to get her.
No, but it was like, even when I had the long hair, it was fun, but I always missed the short hair. And even all the people that I knew, like in my life, when I cut my hair back short, none of them noticed that I cut my hair off.
Yeah.
It took them a few weeks. They were like, "Oh, you cut your hair off." And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, I just was so used to seeing you with short hair. It's how you look." So I do think there is something to having short hair, because I think when you have longer hair, you have more to do with it, and you have more options of style. But even around COVID, like I buzzed my hair super, super short, like a 1 or 2 guard, because in my head, I'm like, it can always grow back. I mean, it's hair, it's not like a permanent thing, but I always felt so confident with it. It was just, it felt like me.
It's great.
Thank you.
I've got shorter hair now than I used to, as I say, but that's mainly because I'm old. Right? I
wouldn't say you're that old. No.
I'm older than you think. I'm in the ancient category, and I just feel like there comes a point where even if I thought it was cool, like my kids would not think it's cool. And that's important. like my kids are now, some of the older boys are beginning to grow their hair, and they're going for the longer hair, and whatever. And I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, because they're the age where they can do that. But
yes,
I'll just grow old disgracefully with grey bits coming through, and that's fine. It's important that you just realize where you should be in life as well. I'm glad you feel comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Now, what about your tattoos on your hands? I mean, are they a statement?
I never really looked at them as like a statement. I wanted hand tattoos and just tattoos in general since I was like 14. I was always drawing on myself in class,
but they're on your hands, right? So people are going to see that,
mm-hmm.
right? So I just wondered whether that meant you wanted people to see that.
Yeah, I mean, when I got my sleeve, I did it in all these little increments, and then as I put the leaf on my hand, it kind of peeked out, and I was like, well, now I kind of want to finish it. And I truly looked at my body as just like this canvas, and I always loved the look of hand tattoos and finger tattoos. And
I want to know now, because my daughter comes home every single day from school with drawings all down her arm. Am I to expect, she's only 11, but she'll be 12 at Christmas. Am I going to expect that she's going to come home one day and say, "Dad, look, is this going to happen now?"
It might happen. To be honest, I had a friend of mine tell me, he was like, "Look," I was like 14 at the time. He was like, "You're going to be covered in tattoos one day." And I was like, "No, I'm not. How do you know that?" But I would always have something drawn on myself. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a tattoo artist because I love drawing and painting. But I mean, when I got my first tattoo at 20, it was, a lot of other people talk about this, I was like bit by the bug. I was like, well, now I have all these ideas. I want this one and I want this one.
But why draw on your arm in the first place? Because this is like what her mum asks her all the time. Why draw on your arm? Is there a sense of like security that comes with drawing on your arm, or is it a social thing because like you get other friends to like draw bits on as well and whatever else, or is it you just can't remember stuff?
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly. God, I would draw on myself all the time, but it was always just a thing for me. It was either like a phrase that I really liked that I wanted to remember, or it was just something I found really beautiful. I'd always draw flowers on myself. I always love flowers. Quotes, pictures I thought were cool on Pinterest, and it was always just stuff that I was interested in. I never did stuff on myself like for other people, and that was what a friend of mine told me. She said, when you get tattoos, it's only for you. You know, she's like, I don't even tell people what tattoos I'm getting because it's not for other people, it's only for me. And I think it was just, for me, it was a way to express myself artistically, because I always was into the arts. I mean, drawing, painting, music, anything of those sorts. And I think it was just like, I mean, I was like, my arm's always here, it's empty, I might as well put something there. And I got to a point where I had a little bag of Sharpies, and at school I would like, kids would come up to me and be like, hey, can you draw this on me? And I would like draw all these, you know, drawings on people, and it was just like this fun thing that I got to do.
So you see yourself as a canvas?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, there's something deep there, isn't there?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I want to put beautiful artwork on myself?
Do you see yourself like that when you're writing songs as well? Are you capturing something that's already there? Is it, or, you know, in what way are you a canvas to the song?
I think it is something that's there. It's either something that's been like weighing on my mind or my heart, or it's something I'm processing. And, you know, similar to like if I'm drawing or painting something, I'm trying to express something. And then when I'm writing a song, usually it's, man, I don't really know like how to deal with this, or, you know, I can write about this or I can think about it, but I don't feel at peace yet. And there's a great like weight lifted off my shoulders sometimes with songs that I write, where I'm like, oh man, like I love the way that this came out. Because in my head, it felt one way or it sounded one way, but once I was able to sit down and process everything, I was able to turn this thought or this feeling or whatever it is into something beautiful and valuable that other people can now benefit from, listen to, enjoy, you know, cry to, whatever they really, you know, however they enjoy it. Or
okay, question for you then. When that happens, right? Because and that's beautiful. I mean, that's why people should write music for them and themselves first, right? That's the important thing. Yeah, that's what Rick Rubin talks about, right?
Yep.
You write for you, not
Yes.
for the audience, because you write for the audience, you get it wrong. But how do you then feel sometimes when like the audience then takes that? Do you ever like look at it and go, hang on a minute, that song's not about that? Or are you okay with that? Are you like, that interpretation, I'm totally fine with that interpretation? Or
that's a really good question. I have had times where, you know, I'll write about something specific, but people take it a different way, or that, like you said, they have their own interpretation. And honestly, I'm really fine if people interpret it a completely different way, or have a different experience than what I had, because that's, I mean, first of all, it's kind of inevitable, and it's one of those things that however you take it, that's you. That's how it should be. And I guess if it's ever misunderstood, I'm never offended or like, oh no, like that's not the idea of it. It's being able to write a song and then release it into the world is truly like releasing it. It's okay, now it's out there. Do with it what you will, you know, take it how you will. But I still always have the knowledge and the piece of like, I know what I wrote that about. Like, I know what I'm saying. And
okay, well, listen, you might not be able to say, right?
But
just in case there's a fun story here, I'll ask the question anyway. What is, if there is one, what's the weirdest interpretation of one of your songs that anyone's ever sort of put in front of you?
Oh, I've read, you know, some of the comments.
There is a story here. I can
There
see,
is,
I can feel
yes.
it percolating.
I've seen, so with Sick of Yourself, I love that song. It's very, very proud of it. But I'll see a lot of comments of people and they're like, it gives me like a witch vibe. Like, I feel, you know, she's like, it's really witchy. And I'm like, I know exactly why people are saying that. It's not about that or like witchcraft, but I'm like, I can understand why people get that because there's like this kind of dark, kind of creepy vibe to it. You know, I'm standing there and covered in black fabric, you know, behind this big cult-like fire. And so I'm like, I completely understand why people think that. But even then, I'm just like, yeah, I get it. Like I can see why they get that. But I don't think I've had an experience where people have come up to me or said anything as far as a song that it's just like a completely different interpretation than what I was really trying to convey, at least.
Yeah, this is a question I've asked a few people, but I feel like with you, it's going to be a really good answer.
Okay.
Okay. What's the best song you haven't written?
The best song I haven't written. You mean like a song I've heard that I wish I wrote?
No. I mean, in your head, if you're thinking about like, I just wish I could write like this song, right?
Mm.
And you haven't written it yet, but at some point you might write it. And it could be like, so I'll give you a little inkling. The other day, someone said at some point they are going to write their version of like Stairway to Heaven or Bohemian Rhapsody, like a multi-part massive thing, because they just feel like, because they write short ditties and they just feel like at some point they're going to write that kind of almost operatic piece.
Okay, that's a good question. Me and my buddy Byam talk about this all the time. Of like, you know, one day down the road, if you write like to write an album or to write a certain song, like what would you write? And if I could like make a combination, I'd want to oh my gosh. You know, I love jazz.
Yep.
To make like a beautiful compilation of like jazz, classical, rock inspired grand song. Because I mean, how can you not listen to like an orchestra or a classical piece and not like cry or feel anything? And this is my answer. Something without lyrics that still has the exact same effect. Because I was talking about this recently. The one genre of music that consistently moves me and you feel it so deeply, like you know exactly what the song is trying to get you to feel, is classical music. You know, all these different instruments, not a word is said, but I'm sitting there and I'm like weeping, or I'm thinking about the specific memory that it makes me think of. And I'm like, how is this such a strong reaction, but not a single word has been said? I feel like that would be a challenge that I would like to undertake, of whether it's just like a song on an album or who knows what, but something.
Maybe a film score.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That would be so cool to be able to do a film score.
Yes.
That would be incredible.
There you go.
Yeah. No words.
Is there a jazz artist that you would of today that you'd love to get on there?
Oh, okay. Okay. You probably know these women. They are dominating the music world right now, and they're very like soul jazz inspired. Ray, she's incredible. I mean, come on, like she has combined jazz and pop music, and then Olivia Dean. She has I've loved her stuff since she released like Float and Dive, and they have this beautiful just grasp on like the pop world, but also jazz and soul, and they're two artists that I would love to collaborate with at some point.
I'm going to give you some names as well. Okay, so I feel like you could have Emma Jean Thackeray.
Okay.
Right. Nubia Garcia. Yeah. I feel like if you want to put like some tinges of really great sax playing in there, and you know, those are names.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, honestly, it's always so hard.
We'll swap names afterwards, right? We'll get like a list up.
Yes.
I'll send you a private playlist. We can like create a playlist of like things that could head towards this.
I'd love that.
Maybe in the future we'll see, you know, Frank the film score. And what would it be, like a Netflix special or like a big blockbuster?
Ooh. I've always wanted to have my music on like a TV show, but being able to do a film score, like a movie, I mean, that would be incredible.
It just, I don't, well, I thought of this before, right? This should be it, right?
Yeah.
You know, the classic Neil Diamond album,
Hmm.
the Jazz Singer.
Yeah.
There's not been a female version of that. Oh,
There's
come
about to be-
on.
There's about to be.
Come on.
I mean, that would be incredible. That would be so cool. Because
Imagine if you took the Jazz Singer,
Mhm.
right? It's big at the moment. Neil Diamond's big at the moment. There's the
Mhm.
Neil Diamond biopic out, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
At the moment, that's big thing. So just think about that. I'm going to take Neil Diamond, the Jazz Singer, as a concept, and I'm
Yeah.
going to do the female version of it.
Oh, that would be so cool.
And you're the Jazz Singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Your manager's going like this in the background. Yeah. Either that or he's going, oh no, this is a terrible we were going in this direction.
Yeah.
We discussed this earlier. 2026 was going to be this, and now you're bringing
Shifting.
It's shifting.
Look, the opportunities are endless with music. And that's the cool thing is like having a music career, I'm like, there's just the possibilities are just never ending.
Absolutely, Sydney. That's the way it's got to be. Now,
Mhm.
listen, this should have been like the first question, but obviously, being me, I left it to last, right? But why Frank?
Good question. So
But I've also got a second question to go with it. So just go with the first bit, and then just think there's something else tittering in behind.
okay. Well, Frank is actually my maiden name. So
Ah,
before I got married, it was Sydney Frank. And when we first like discussed the possibility of the name, I was at first just like, man, I don't really like it. It's just it felt too like easy or and then the more I thought about it, I was like, I actually like it. And it fits. I feel like it does kind of just fit with who I am, and it felt right,
but Frank appears on some very classic albums, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were aware of those reference points, okay? Right.
Mhm.
So obviously there's the whole Amy Winehouse thing,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. But is there another Frank album or Frank song that kind of comes to mind when you think of Frank?
I mean, I think of Frank Sinatra. I think
Mhm.
of Frank Ocean.
Wow, yes.
Like, well, I always tell people, like, when you research me, you're gonna get those two things pop up. I'm honored that they pop up with my name as well. But it's so fun to even bring up Amy Winehouse because when Frank was like her first like album, and I was like, what if I wrote a song called Amy Winehouse? But see, now that I say it, I got to do it, don't I?
That's
Because
so
she's, I mean,
cool.
she's a truly incredible artist as well. I mean, talk about jazz influence. She was legendary.
Well, I'll tell you something about Amy Winehouse after this.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
That's just between me and you.
Okay.
These people here who are listening, thanks for listening, by the way.
Mhm.
You're just going to have to guess.
Sorry.
Sorry. But there's another Frank as well who you might not know about, but I only discovered this recently because
Mhm.
I met one of my childhood heroes from music recently. And then he told me about this. So I got to meet Nick Kershaw.
Okay.
Okay. You've probably never heard of.
Mm-mm.
Nick Kershaw was big in the 1980s. He had some huge hits. He got to play Live Aid. He was that big.
Oh, wow.
Right? He was massive. And he's written songs for lots of other people as well.
Mm.
Great songwriter. But he wrote an album called To Be Frank, right? Which is clever.
Mhm.
But Frank, and this is what we all discovered, Frank is actually this kind of person that inhabits his world, right? And
Mm.
almost like sits on his shoulder.
Mm.
And he told the story of when he was at Live Aid. And there he is, Live Aid, in front of that massive crowd. And he's singing one of his biggest hits and whatever. And he gets to the second verse and he knows just before he gets to the second verse, I don't actually know the words to the second verse because it's just gone from my head. So now he's like singing the chorus whilst in his head going, I really do need to know the words to the second verse of this.
Oh my gosh.
Right? In front of the biggest audience ever.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Whew.
And if you go back and listen to, you can find these things on the internet.
Mhm.
If you go back and listen to Nick Kershaw's performance, what you'll find is that he sings the first verse twice.
Did anybody notice?
He said, I don't think they did. But here's the thing. He said, that's Frank. And this person, Frank, had been with him his whole life. It's kind of that imposter syndrome that goes like,
Yeah.
you don't know. You're not good enough for this. You're not there.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And he then, to kind of exercise that demon, he wrote this whole album about Frank to try and get rid of Frank.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
I gotta
great?
listen to that.
What a great story that is, isn't it?
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's interesting you talk about imposter syndrome, because I hear about other artists and people kind of in that world that deal with that, where you're kind of, oh man, I feel like I'm in somebody else's skin right now. Like this is a strange feeling. That's incredible.
There you go. So Frank, I'm just giving you that as a little gift because Frank actually has got a lot of personality to it musically
does.
already. It's got a lot of history to it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just taking the mantle on.
Mm-hmm.
You should get in touch with Nick and go, I'm called Frank and I know your story about Frank.
I should. That'd be a fun collaboration.
That honestly really would. I mean, he's such a good songwriter. He'd probably go, let's write a song. That's how it starts, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's how everything starts. Listen, Frank, Sydney, Elliott,
Yeah.
us both, you.
Graham.
It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. We could talk for hours.
Yes, we could.
But we won't, because we need to let these people go,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's going to be more My Music for you very soon, everybody. But do us a favor, between now and the next time that we are here for you with more music and a different person to talk to, could you go and check out some Frank, please, and add some Frank to your playlist? It might not be Christmas music, but you're fed up to the back teeth of that by now. If you are listening to this around the time that we record it, if you're listening to this 5 years from now, Frank is one of the biggest artists in the world, and she's also written one of the most important soundtracks of our time. Just going to say, there you go. But we conceptualized it here first now.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Perfect.
Absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Absolutely.
Folks, go and support real music. Buy it. Don't just stream it. Put some money in the pockets of the people that do it. If they've got merchandise, buy it. If they've got physical copies of things, buy that also. And if you just see them out and about, buy groceries for them. Because every little helps, as one of our supermarkets over here. It really does. Do you imagine? You know that those like things that you see on Instagram where like somebody comes along and pays for someone else's shopping.
Mm-hmm.
People need to do that for musicians.
Yes.
They really do.
I will not say no.
And there's Frank going, right, I'm just gonna like add a bit more.
I'm just gonna wait outside the grocery store being like, do you wanna cover this for me?
If you're gonna cover this, I think I might have the marzipan stolen.
Right, let me grab some extra steaks while I'm here.
Yes. We'll get a stake in the game.
That's right.
Absolutely. We'll be back soon with more of My Music. But until then, from Frank and myself, bye for now.